Okay, so I've got some brief notes. There, I got let's see. Pursue and kill spiders to rescue horses, one of which was eaten, and Vicious and Hadar both went down. Then we were dismissed as guards due to the imposter heroes of Greenest arriving and them being cheaper, and they managed to con everyone. And then we find this guy Solomon buried up to his neck at the crossroads, and he's got Oathbreaker written on his head. Then there was a silent, creepy merchant in the caravan. Oh, and then Doc went and gambled with all the heroes of Greenest, and yeah, so they somehow have all the people in the caravan conned, and they're just taking their money hand over fist. That's what I have for notes.
Do you remember how the session ended?
No.
Remember what Tinus was doing when the session ended? Or what Tinus did towards the end of the session?
Tinus needs to fill that in.
So at the end of the session, Tinus went to investigate Last Varlo the Silent. And upon his initial investigation, he was stopped by the guards because Tinus wasn't very sneaky. And he ended up getting some real creepy vibes from them. The guard knew specifically of Arlisle and their relationship, but that was more down to Tinus letting that slip up in the spider combat. What was really surprising was that when Tinus started trying to send messages to Arlisle and Doc about the guard's creepiness, he heard a voice in his head that was speaking of him trying to investigate their servant. And he made several attempts at that, I think 2 specifically. And both times his message was intercepted and he was given a creepy message in return. Um, and it warned that he was going to see something in his dreams. And then that night when he went to sleep, or the next night it was, when he went to sleep, um, he ended up being or encountering just what was a beautiful woman offered him a goblet, and upon his initial refusal, she sort of wreathed herself in the light of El Terrell to sort of pose as his god or some form of it, and that pretty much got to him, I believe, if I remember the roles correctly.
Well, slight clarification in that you were on the ethereal plane, so the moment that you were thinking about fleeing from her, you went somewhere that you felt more comfortable. And that light of El Churel, she used essentially to cloak herself in the light, but that was again invading you on the ethereal plane.
Gotcha,
Otherwise, yeah,
gotcha.
those were the big things. You all went after the horses. The heroes of Greenus infiltrated the camp while you were away. You all found and saved the Oathbreaker, Solomon Arena, and then Tinus got caught attempting to investigate into Lesvero the Silent.
It was also super creepy that I was like trying to wake everybody up, and one after another like failed to get anybody else up, and then like passed out right before Tinus had that dream.
Yep, you were definitely awake for what seemed like a instance where the camp was under some sort of spell or in some sort of a catatonic state. So, we will rejoin the adventure in about that same scene as Tinus dreams and this creature approaches. For the first time, you see her massive canines, and from those canines drips down blood as she again offers you the goblet from her hand and beckons you to drink.
Ooh, yeah. If I remember correctly, he was starting to feel compelled to because of that wreath and light effect. But upon seeing fangs and dripping blood, pretty sure he would again try to get away from this being, because that's terrifying.
So again, as you start to move away from her, she seems to follow behind you. And then from behind, you hear in a voice, I forgot to check your languages beforehand. Yeah, you would hear in a voice, unbeknownst to you, the meaning of, and then all of a sudden you will collapse in pain. I need you to make, I believe, a Constitution saving throw. As you hear these words, the little bit of your body that's before your eyes as you're trying to move away from this creature, you see as it starts to shrivel and your hand starts to melt away and the flesh melts off your skin and you start to see bones in your hand. And as you start to reach out, your bones start to crumble away as the ligaments release the flesh and the muscles, no longer holding your bone or your hand as an entire object. And as your body begins to crumble into death, you wake up.
Tinus will wake up screaming at that. Just seeing his own body fall apart in front of him, that's enough to shock him out of sleep. And he's going to just bolt up with a shout and look around, touching himself to make sure he's all still there. Lusender, protect me.
Make a
What's wrong?
perception check for me.
That's 6. He's still very much in a panic state from that.
Everything seems to be there. Let's see. Everybody else, let me have you all roll perception checks. Let's see if you wake up to his scream. And can I get a performance check from Tinus?
14 on that performance. Shockingly rolling well with his bad stats.
So anybody who rolls higher than a 6, you will wake up to his scream. Need a 20 total between his performance and your perception.
Tinus, what's wrong?
Just give it a second. You guys are not in the same area of the camp, so it's going to still take you time to find.
Oh,
Hang
okay.
on, I'm reloading my screen. It's not like doing anything.
Oh, it seems you're in the game now.
Yeah,
Oh, was I not showing up as in the game a second ago?
Yeah, a second ago your name wasn't popping up as in the game.
Hadar also wakes up,
Someone said food?
That honey glazed ham again.
and Doc is. So each of you wakes up in a respective part of the camp. You hear the scream. I don't think it's insane to understand that you're hearing one of your friends.
I'm going to go investigate the scream.
Tinus, as you see Vicious arriving, describe yourself waking up.
Tinus would have been naturally sleeping in not his armor, but just simple traveler's clothing because they want to get up and move quickly. But he is currently unarmed. He is very much sweating, and you'll notice a slight panicked expression. He's begun to calm down now that the world is starting to come back to him, but he is quite a sight. His face looks like he just saw a ghost, probably even more pale than typically, as he's just holding on to himself and just sort of taking deep meditative breaths, clearly trying to calm himself down from something.
Hey, so I'm going to put a hand on his shoulder and say, hey, Tinus, calm down. Deep breaths, okay? Whatever happened, that was a dream. Everything's fine. Nobody's attacking. Nothing bad is happening. Do you want to talk about it?
He will jump as soon as your hand touches him, but immediately recognizes your voice. Vicious. Oh, Vicious, I know things. It was just. Oh, I hadn't had time to tell you all, but I'd been hearing voices when I tried to communicate through magic, and now this creature visited me in my dreams, and I could feel myself dying. I think I need water. I need air. And he will get up and start to leave the tent.
At this point in time, Doc approaches.
As you step out of the tent, camping next to a stream, and you inhale a large breath of air, feels stagnant. You hear the stream flowing beside you. You hear the water crashing across rocks as it goes downstream. But there's no scent in the air. There's no taste to the water as you drink it.
Anyone who's watching Tinus will notice that he is very clearly still shaken. The drink he thought would make him feel better is not doing anything, and his face is still quite pale as he stands up and says, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I fear something might have happened. Nothing feels the same. But I suppose since we're all gathered here, I might as well tell you what happened And this is where he will relay to the rest of the party his attempted investigation and the situation as he currently knows it, the dream, the creature that have visited him, and just you all more or less would have a general understanding that he tried to investigate Les Verlo the Silent, and that was when all of this bizarre stuff started happening.
Let me have you do a wisdom check for me.
Okie doke. That's a natural 20 with a 23.
And what is everybody doing as Tinus describes this experience to you?
Doc's just smoking a cigarette and listening in.
Adar, Vicious?
Yeah,
Just
let's just
listening.
look. I would be more like looking around camp if there any person is running around or if everyone else is like sleeping.
Do an insight check for me. The camp seems empty. There doesn't appear to be anybody on guard duty. There doesn't appear to be anybody moving around. Right now, it's the four of you. You don't even see the horses at present.
Guys, you know where the other guys are? Like everyone else in the camp?
And I guess it would be only now that Tinus actually starts to take a good look around. Did the caravan move on without us? I still see the wagon.
Something is not right about this situation. Last night I was on guard duty and felt a strange eeriness, much like what I feel now. And as I approached each one of you and attempted to wake you from your dreams, you laid there lifeless. I went from one to the next. Arlyle's eyes were wide open as if he were dead, but his body was still alive. I shook all of you, and then finally I felt something come over me, and I fell asleep. And the next thing I knew, I heard your screams.
Well, something is seriously wrong.
This must be some kind of magic, maybe even connected to what I experienced. And let's see.
As you mutter that to them, you hear in your ear, ring, ring. You notice there's a
Doc.
goblet in your hand. Only Tinus would have heard that.
Oh, my bad.
Tinus will absolutely suddenly panic. As far as anyone else sees, Tinus will shriek and attempt to throw the goblet. Just throws it on the ground.
The rest of
Did
your
anyone see
adventuring
anything?
party doesn't seem to react to that. They don't seem to have noticed it. They don't seem to have noticed you throw it to the ground. They don't seem to notice you shriek to it.
Tinus looks around at the others and their complete passivity towards the situation. Did you hear it? Did anyone else hear it? Did you see the goblet?
They don't react.
No. And Tinus will definitely start to descend into panic, and he's going to start looking around. Reveal yourself! Where are you?
Among you. I am with you.
This is not so. And Tinus will begin a prayer to Lathander, and let's see. I don't have. Let's see. What would be a good casting here? Oh, that's a good one. Tinus will begin to cast daylight. As the light of the sun is very soothing to him, and it is the direct power of Lathander. He will begin a prayer and try to cast daylight just on the area around him and his friends, trying to use the light of Lathander to banish whatever this thing is.
Flesh is pale. Enjoy the last bit of feeling and sensation it might bring to you. For soon you may find yourself lacking such pigments. Enjoy and drink, drink, drink.
I will not fall to you, whatever you are. And he'll try to like shake his friends out of this. Just walk up to Doc and just, Doc, please, and he will shake him.
What does Doc do when he shakes you?
Do I hear any of the stuff like him casting a spell or any of that, or he
Yeah.
just walks up to me and starts shaking me?
Essentially, the only thing that you would have been completely oblivious of is the goblet.
Okay, but I hear him like talking to a voice that I don't hear.
You heard him praying to Lathander.
Tinus, I don't know why you're shaking me. It looks more like you're the one who needs to be shaken, my friend. Are you okay with your prayers?
Do you not hear it? It's commanding me to drink. It says I'm going to lose sensation in my skin. I've already lost the ability to taste. Can you? Is it just me?
I don't hear anything but your strange ramblings, my friend. Perhaps you need a drink, or maybe you've had too many.
I will not drink from that. The river was tasteless. The light, I can't feel the sun.
I'm gonna feel his
Daco,
forehead.
while she does that, I'm going to pull out my flask and take a drink from it.
What are you feeling for when you feel his forehead?
Just see if he's hot.
Do you think Tinus is hot?
Nah, see if his
Uh,
forehead is hot. You know, like little kids, like when
I'm just
I don't
fucking
know.
with
That's how
you.
you're supposed to do it.
He feels fine to you as you feel him.
Not like I know anything about health.
Healer feet?
Oh yeah, well, but you just seem kind of like out of it.
I don't think this is any kind of natural sickness. Whatever this thing is plaguing me, it is urging me to drink. I don't know of this. This is not something I've come across in my studies. Do any of you have any of you heard of anything similar to this? A voice in my head and the loss of sensation.
Yeah, I have the same feeling when I don't eat for a while.
That's great.
Honestly, I can relate to you, my friend. I hear voices all the time telling me to drink, smoke, fuck, all kinds of things, kill.
I, I, we, there's something. I have to, I have to pray. That's all I can do. And Tinus will just go into a deep prayer, just doing everything he can to hear the voice of Lathander.
He have you make a wisdom saving throw, as every word of your prayer seems to be repeated back to you in some sort of different language, though you recognize that it seems to be mirroring what you say.
13?
It does not feel comforting to pray to Lathander. You feel absolutely torn apart inside. It's shredding your mind just to hear these words repeated back to you in this bio language.
Tinus will hold his head as it feels like he's getting a headache from his own prayer. This is not right. This is. I cannot feel Lothander's presence comforting me. I. What's happening? And he's going to look around to see if he can find that goblet.
What goblin?
Goblet. He's looking for the goblet the thing was telling him to drink from.
It's in your hand.
Ah, crap. He looks down at his hand. Suddenly he's holding it. And he's going to. Da-da-da. Of course, the one time I don't have Dispel Magic on. Oh, that might work. Is this the only answer? Let's see. Do I have the
Start to see as there's a
components?
hand that starts to raise the goblet to your face from behind.
He's going to immediately pull away, but he's not letting the goblet go, as in his mind, that must be the source of all of this. He's just trying to figure out some way to get rid of this truly. No, that doesn't. He's going to try and cast Lesser Restoration on himself. Like he's trying everything to separate himself from whatever this is. He says, "In the name of Lathander, purge me of whatever this impurity is," and he will cast Lesser Restoration.
Seem to cast and feel no difference.
Oh crap! There's something behind him. uh, yeah, Tinus. Is this the only way I get? Getting less and less coherent. Tinus will feel the compulsion to drink far stronger than ever, and with no other options, Tinus will drink from the goblet.
Has Tinus ever drank blood before?
He has
Ew.
not. He has absolutely never drank blood before.
You taste a thick, viscous, irony fluid. Still seems warm to the touch as it hits your lips, and it starts to run into your body, and you feel a different, interesting sort of vitality cleanse through you, almost empowering. Bring me into you, or we will be whole again.
Oh, poor boy. As this is the only source of comfort he has currently, he will continue to drink as everything else feels wrong. His prayers are turned against him, his magic isn't working, and even his friends are completely oblivious. Since he woke up, this is the only comfort he has, and he will drink the blood.
As you drink deeper, you start to tilt the glass all the way back, and you almost cannot drink it fast enough.
This is the water that he was looking for when he woke up. The water from the river was completely empty to him, but this revitalization is what he was hoping to calm his mind. And as the goblet empties, he will take a deep breath and just sort of look around as things do feel better, but at the same time, so much worse. I cannot be this way. And Tinus is just going to just stand there, kind of both shocked by his own action and his own weakness in this. Lysander, where are you?
I am with you always. I am inside you, and you are in me. We are one.
What are you, creature, and what have you done to me?
I have done little else than what you have chosen.
This is. Are you making this happen? Why can they not see you?
These have been your own choices. You have brought these solutions to your own end.
I have acted in desperation from what you brought on to me. I I
So
had no other choice.
at present, if you reload your D&D Beyond, you have +2 to your Constitution. You should be at 36 hit points now.
Oh boy, that's actually really unsettling. I guess at this point, feeling weirdly better and shockingly empowered, uh, Tinus will look to his friends and he will say, "Do you see her now? This creature?" And he will just point to her.
Let me have you do a wisdom check for me, Tinus.
Okie dokie.
Do we actually hear him now, or?
That is a 14.
Doc, Hadar, Vicious, how do you react as Tinus points out his follower?
What's he pointing to?
He is pointing to a young woman who's standing behind him over his right shoulder, and she seems absolutely pale, but otherwise seems to be a beautiful young woman.
Tiny, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't think that's the way you talk to a woman.
Do not be fooled, Hadar. This is no woman. This creature has been haunting me, and I,
As you
I
say, do
accepted.
not be fooled, this creature has been haunting me, the air around you all goes to a loud cacophony of horrific screams. As everything is filled in, you can see little more than 10 feet in front of you as a wind begins to blast this entire area. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, oh, that's a 5.
Alrighty. So, Hadar, Tinus, and Doc will all take 13 psychic damage. No, my bad. Necrotic damage. You'll take 13 necrotic damage as you are blasted by this wind. Vicious, you will take 6.
Yeesh. Yeah, Tynix buckles under the cacophonous sound shredding his mind, and he just agony. Yeah. Tinus is gonna try to hit her, just strike out at her. He's not physically strong, but in this sense, he's just trying to attack this being now. She's caused just the worst feelings of his life. So yeah, Tinus is gonna strike her, just try to get rid of her, as he comes to his senses, hopefully, and
You know what
realizes he
that
can't
box
hit.
means.
Here we go. That's a 14.
Oh, you want all of us to roll?
Yeah, you all are in joining initiative here. So let me have one more wisdom check from you, Tinus.
Here we go. Straight
Actually,
wisdom.
you know what? Do 3 wisdom checks for me. And I need an initiative roll from... Nope, I got it now from Vicious Word.
8, 19, and 14.
So is there anything to attack? Because I only do physical attacks.
You can see her now, I think. At this point, you can see the thing following Tinus.
Doc, I will ask you to limit yourself to traditional attacks, no use of feats, and no use of racial abilities. Vicious, you have access to everything that your character has, and Hadar, you have no access to class abilities. Or wait, I said that wrong. Not feats. It's no use of class abilities for Doc. You have no feats and no class abilities. And then Hadar is no class abilities, and Vicious has everything.
Okay, alright. So I can't do the stunning strike.
Oh boy, we are in some kind of way.
So what's that mean? Just like basic attacks?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, I guess I'm just going to shoot my bow 2 times. Just like move to where I got a clean shot.
23 hits, and 20 as well,
And that's my turn.
and 2 Vicious.
That's as far as I can get. So
You
I'll
can
throw a
clear that
javelin.
last. You can clear that last space and get into combat with her. At some point, you all should have actually moved yourselves as you were talking to him. I assumed you were not talking across the camp.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I guess I will strike at her with the maul, and I get 2 attacks, right? If I go in range.
Are you raging?
Yes.
You do indeed. 26 and 18 both hit, and roll a d6.
All right, that's it.
At the end of your turn, Vicious, she is going to strike out at you, making an attack with a 18 to hit.
Yep.
8 slashing damage, reduced to 4. And then a single necrotic damage.
So 5 total.
And she will grapple you. Yes, that's correct. 5 total. And after that, it is going to go to her. I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws for me.
Oh good, a 15 this time. But that natural one on the other side is scary.
Everybody is going to take 14 necrotic damage.
Jeez.
As the wind blasts through you, you start to feel your flesh almost tearing away from your body, and it starts to just like be torn away, and you start to see exposed muscles and some bits of exposed bone. You continue to fight me. I am inevitable. And again, she is going to step backwards. Tinus, Vicious, would you care to make an attack of opportunity?
Yes.
Not Tinus. He can't do that kind of thing. He doesn't have the feat that lets him cast spells as attacks of opportunity, and he actually hits 0 for physical damage.
It doesn't really dig the spacing of how this shows up, but let's see. 13 misses.
I figured.
So that is not fire. That is indeed a blast of icy cold as she steps back and extends her hand, and a blast of cold will extend out from her. And let's roll this on the tabletop because I do not have enough dice.
Oh no.
I need everyone to make another Constitution saving throw versus 30 damage of cold.
Tinus got a 20, shockingly.
19.
Vicious, con save, please. Alrighty, so Doc and Vicious take 30 cold damage, and Tinus and Hadar will take 15 cold.
I am down.
Tinus
Same.
is also down.
As Tinus goes down, everybody wakes up,
Oh no, that
I'll
was
go
a
down. I go to
dream.
1.
and everybody can restore everything that you lost and or used there.
Tinus, I don't like participating in your dreams. They're creepy.
You actually were not a participant in his dream. It was technically speaking Tinus's dream. And the wisdom checks were all whether he could actually recall the abilities and racial skills that you have as people. That's why I was doing wisdom checks for everything that you all might do, is to see how much he could remember about how you...
So
Yeah,
none of us know
he's
what
in a
happened.
state of panic.
Yeah, this is all in Tinus's head at this point.
Yeah, I guess as Tinus wakes up from that dream, he's not going to trust anything because he woke up from a dream into another dream. So right now he's just huddled in his bed, praying and hoping it doesn't hurt this time.
While Tinus is praying, what is everybody doing? How do you start your day on... What is this? I believe we are on the 17th of Uktar.
So what do we know happened?
Nothing at all.
Okay, so I'll just go make some hot tea and oatmeal, like every morning.
As you sit down to start making some tea and oatmeal, you see the little gnome girl Radisir seems to have been up a little bit earlier than everybody else, and she shortly after approaches and kind of just sits down beside you, but otherwise sits kind of silently for a few moments here. Hadar, Doc, how do you start your morning?
Oh, I believe I'd wake up and light myself a cigarette and ponder the happenings of the previous evening before I join Vicious and the gnome.
As you wake up, you do hear activity across the camp versus the silence of the previous evening. It is extremely satisfying to have this sensation that everything at least seems right at this point. Every other morning has started off with this same kind of din of activity across the camp. Hadar, you wake up hungry? What would you like to do?
That's unexpected.
I mean,
Hungry? What? Not Hadar.
like in the morning, grab something to eat and look at the people strolling around.
So you would see everybody going about their business. You would see the little gnome girl Radisir, who is sitting next to Vicious. I feel like you'd probably see Doc kind of stretching as he steps out of his tent. But otherwise, everybody's relatively spread across their different areas where their different wagons kind of set down for the night.
I would want to see if what the imposters are doing.
They seem to be starting a bright morning together. They're joking, seem overall pretty happy, jovial, going about their day. Nothing really seems off across. I think you all have been with them for about 4 days now. It all kind of just seems to fit the bill of how they act. As Radisir sees Hadar step out of his tent, she kind of pipes up to Vicious. I know you all have been... She looks around like to see that nobody's like nearby or kind of within earshot. I know you all have been keeping your distance of one another, but I was talking to your friend the other day, a rotund one, and thought maybe you'd be able to help me with something, the two of you. Maybe you could get into a fight? And she points out a wagon that has joined the caravan since you all left Dragonsphere. The gentleman who paid to ride with them has something that doesn't belong to him. You think you two could cause a ruckus and maybe get into a fight, knock over the wagon, cause some problems. I don't mean to profile you, but you're an orc, so I kind of figure everybody's going to ignore the fact that an orc got into a fight with somebody.
Sure, after I finish eating.
Could fight over food. He seems pretty intent on eating all the time, so seems like a pretty believable thing that an orc would fight a fat guy. And she
What's
kind of,
this that he doesn't have? So I'm going to question her a little bit more.
she's like stepping up to walk away. What was that?
What do you think has been taken that he's not supposed to have?
Well, that might be less important than that I need a distraction.
It's a good excuse for a fight, I guess.
It would help me out a lot. I would appreciate it.
You sure about that? Because we have a lot of problems even without fighting ourselves on this journey. I feel like we need to spare our energy.
It's like a
So
morning workout.
that was her talking to Vicious.
Oh,
You
sorry, I
didn't
felt like it.
explicitly bite at me saying that she was next to Vicious and describing that you saw Vicious. So I'm going to say that you did not necessarily walk over there.
Yeah, I would want to stay away. I just it sounded to me like I was next to them, so okay. But I would want to stay away from everyone else, so I will not get into that. Just my misunderstanding.
Oh, no, it's fine. Do you think you can manage that for me, Orc? You can just punch him in the face. The two of you can roll. Maybe one of you throws the other into the wagon. And that should be all the time that I need. You knock over the wagon,
Okay.
all the better.
All right, we can do that.
Excellent. I very much appreciate it. And she kind of like pats you on the back and like reaches in for a very weird, awkward hug.
All right, little one.
And then she walks away.
All
I'd
right, so
say, sorry.
the porridge is ready. I'm gonna call everybody over. Well, wait a minute. We're not in the same caravan, right? Well, we're not in the same wagons, right?
Exactly. You're sharing the caravan, but you all are not riding in the same wagons.
So I'm not gonna share my porridge with anyone.
So continuing back to shortly after Doc and Hadar wake up, how do you two start off your mornings? Do you have any intention at present?
Oh, I'd step outside and light up a small fire, sort of look around and see where my friend Solomon is.
Actually, shortly after you stoke the fire, you actually notice that Solomon appears to be looking for you, in fact, and actually moves over to sit by you. And you very quickly recognize him because he is currently wearing your clothing.
Good morning, friend. I hope you slept well. Care for a little breakfast?
It's awfully kind of you. I very much appreciate it. Let me have you make a perception check.
And when I say care for a little breakfast, I'll offer him my flask.
Where do you keep your flask?
Close to my heart. I've got like a little inside pocket on my shirt.
Can't help but notice the emblem you wear near this, or gauntlet. These caravans are dangerous for such symbols right now. Perhaps it would be better not to store something so necessary as your flask so near to your heart.
You're familiar with this symbol, are you? Is it a well-known symbol, the Order of the Gauntlet?
They're a little bit more explicit as far as things go, and then the symbol itself is very closely related to Helm and his actual right gauntlet. The Order of the Gauntlet just can be essentially other forms of the same gauntleted fist. It's a much more open version of Helm's symbol, so it's definitely a rather well-known symbol. I have my familiarity with it. We work closely together.
Really? That's interesting. This was given to me by a close friend.
And close it shall remain. Keep it at heart, but be weary that those who travel some roads are not to be trusted, and this road has been poisoned of late.
I'll sort of like look around for a minute and then kind of whisper to him, "You speak of the cultists, do you?"
So as kind of a matter of, I'm not necessarily good at ad-libbing terribly great code, I would say this conversation between the two of you would be very like encoded in like illusory speech. Like you use a lot of code words for different things, but this would be like the explicit way of describing things that many things would have to be interpreted before you can actually like gain an insight into the true meaning. But yeah, overall, like as far as us speaking in game, I think it's best to still have it be a little bit more explicit in the speech. But this is how he would have introduced it to you, with very like coded words for different things. He wouldn't have spoken of the actual order of the gauntlet, even speaking like low under his voice. But after a few moments, he like recognizes the same thing, and he would basically speak of like the followers of the drakes, kind of things like that, where it's like side words that reference the same thing, mean the same things.
Perhaps you can inform me about what you know. I seek knowledge of these patrons of the Dark Ones.
Perhaps it's best to recognize that it's pleasing to have found you, and it confirms the heart that would have stopped to save me is well in-lined. Perhaps we are on the same journey. I was traveling with an earlier caravan. I was not, in fact, engaged to be married to a young, duplicitous woman, so much as I was seen for what I was and left behind to die.
I had a feeling your story didn't quite line up. I was curious as to where upon the road you might have found your woman to find allegiance with these cultists.
But like overall as well, like there's a lot of different like small villages that you all pass through, so that wouldn't have necessarily been something in particular that was a failure in his story, but it was definitely meant to be a shady story.
Yeah, the Oathbreaker thing kind of like made me think that it was a bullshit story.
As well it should have been. So yeah, the two of you kind of continue talking and more or less can kind of confirm these same thoughts that from what he can tell and perhaps what you've gathered, a good portion of all of the wagons seem to be, or are at least likely to be, cult wagons moving different paraphernalia from the raids on the south, and that as far as he is concerned, his mission was to investigate in a very similar way, where he was meant to remain unseen and unknown and basically try to figure out what sort of plans and goals that these different wagons have and where they are moving the different items to. So in this time, everybody individually would start to recognize that you've been keeping an eye across your party, trying not to actually like nod too much to either of yourselves, to recognize each other, to sit down to speak with one another. But you would at some point notice that Tinus has not risen this morning. He seems absent. And as everybody starts to gather up and pack up their carts, it's kind of that point in the morning where his prayers should have been finished. People should be finishing up, packing up, when, let's see, Tinus is traveling with, Leilu? Yeah, Leilu and her teamster Eskrail will kind of start to yell out for a little bit of help from people as they start to call out that the body of Tinus rests in his tent, unmoving.
Oh no.
Vicious, Doc, Hadar, how do you act when they start calling this out?
Doc will just say to Solomon, let's find out what this commotion is all about. And he'll sort of just like wander over there, cigarette in hand, smoking.
Vicious will go over and check him over to see if there's any obvious type of damage that she can actually heal.
Make a medicine check for me. Body seems untouched. Seems almost pristine.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Is anyone good at mental stuff?
As I like hold the cigarette over his mouth, does he breathe in or blow out?
You see little bits of wisps in like the actual like smoke being drawn into his lungs and being exhaled, but it's a very shallow breath.
I'll stand up and just give him a kick to the side. Wake up, lazy ass. We're getting to move.
I'll have you not beat my guard. He's maybe just exhausted, or perhaps Barry and Eskrell. Just can we maybe load him into the wagon for the day, and we can maybe he'll wake up before lunch. We should just be moving. Hopefully he'll be fine. We're nearing Daggerford. Perhaps he'll be fine.
Get your affairs in order. We'll leave your asses behind. The caravan waits for no man. And Doc will walk away.
Any other thoughts before the wagon train begins to leave this camp? So, as the wagons begin to head off for the day, there is a horrific scream again from Leilu as she yells out, "I think he's been poisoned. Somebody, it looks like he's been stabbed twice in his neck."
Oh, crap.
And with that, the caravan is going to move along. Has anybody any thoughts that they would like to accomplish for the day?
Doc will walk back over when they say that about the dagger or the poison or whatever. They call me Doc. I'm not an actual doctor, but if I'm not mistaken, those are spider bites. Perhaps he got bitten when we were in the cave.
Do you have any sort of ointment, or is there anything that you can do for the bites? They don't look like a traditional wound. Perhaps somebody has poisoned him?
Probably just some venom from the spider. Keep your eye on him, and if it gets progressively worse, I'm sure someone around here has some medical care. But my medicine comes in this, and kind of taps his chest where he keeps his flask.
Leilu, like, pokes at the marks on his neck, and you see as one of these, like, dark black little dots bursts with, like, a little bit of, like, green, whitish pus as it kind of, like, spits out onto the side of his tunic. And you just hear, like, a small but muffled kind of scream as she's, like, surprised at this, like, gush of pus.
Looks normal. I wouldn't be worried unless you see starts getting bigger and kind of pulsing, and then I'd probably move him to an outdoor area just in case it's laid eggs inside of him.
Do spiders do that? There's eggs in there?
Yes, most likely. Looks like eggs in there. Perhaps we could burn them out. Just keep your eye on it. If it keeps getting swollen and sort of like blistery, pulsing, it's definitely spider eggs. Take about 24 hours to hatch, so be on your lookout.
Is it worth the effort? Should we bring him along, or what if he turns into a spider? How big are the spiders? Do you see the size of these marks?
I could watch your back for a couple coin just in case they burst out.
Don't steal my job. I may be passed out unconscious from vampire affliction, but that didn't mean you can steal my job.
Let me have you roll a persuasion check.
7, and I'm not going to use a luck point. You're lucky, Tinus.
I don't believe I've seen you traveling with anybody these last few days, but if you'll travel near us, I could pay you some silvers for the next day of your time. Maybe feed you a few meals.
Ah, yeah, that'll do just fine. I was fucking with you anyway. But I'll keep my eye on you. This one's free of charge, and I'll give him her a wink. And I will just kind of keep an eye on him while we travel.
So other than that, the day seems to progress by pretty simply as you all start to travel, nearing closer and closer to Daggerford, maybe a day or two away. With that, you all would come to a evening camp And shortly after sunset, Tinus would come back to consciousness.
Oh, Tinus will rouse from a sleep he didn't remember taking. The last thing he remembers actively doing was praying. But as he rises, he will look around and more be surprised that it's nightfall. He was expecting to be up to at least help the caravan. And he will step out and firstly try to speak to Lilu and just um I'm sorry that I overslept. Did anything happen over the course of the day?
Oh, you're awake. Good, good. How do you feel? You were not really sleeping so much as you were very much out of things. I don't know what you did last night, but you seemed quite exhausted. Somebody even kicked you. They kicked you in the ribs.
And he doesn't feel any pain in his ribs. That's I was unaware of that. As far as I know, I just had quite a harrow experience in my dreams. That sounds pathetic, but in truth, I am if I am recovered as much as I can be.
I'm glad.
Check your neck there, friend. Oh, I'm assuming I'm still close by when I see
you
this.
can be close enough. That's perfectly fine.
Check your neck there, friend. Looks like you may have, and I'll kind of wink at him, been bitten by a spider. You know anything about those marks on your neck?
Tinus will reach up and touch the marks on his neck.
You would feel like not like massive goiters, but definitely like nearing like ping pong size bulges in your neck, approximately 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart from each other.
Oh, this is worse than I thought. And he will again try to cast Lesser Restoration on himself to see if that makes the swelling go down.
Doesn't really seem to have any sort of effect.
Well, whatever this is, it's not poison. That spell would have cured me of such an affliction. I am. How aware is he of what has happened to him?
You had vivid dreams last night. Quite vivid.
Yeah, he's pretty sure he knows what's going on. Don't worry about this. I believe I was just bitten, and the spell I just cast will work in time. I should be fine, and uh, I appreciate your assistance. What is your name?
You can call me Doc or the Doctor, whatever you prefer. If you don't mind, perhaps we could have a word, make sure that you're coherent. And I'll kind of signal for us to like step away in private.
Thank you, Doctor. You were very. It was good to have your help. Thank you, thank you.
Of course,
I
of course. No charge. Let me know if you need anything else. And then we'll just kind of step away for a minute.
Yeah, Tinus will step away with Doc.
Look, Tinus, there's something fucked up going on here. The other night, the camp was completely silent. I went to each of you and everyone was asleep. When I went to shake y'all awake, your bodies lay lifeless, eyes clear, white, staring into nothingness. I felt a strange pull at me, and then finally, I couldn't fight it anymore, and I just fell asleep. And the next thing I remember, I just awoke, and everything was back to normal. I don't know what it is, magic or demons, but something's not right.
You were correct in that assumption, and I don't know if perhaps this has any connection to our mission at large, but I had a very harrowing encounter with, and I'm gonna drop the vampire. I assume he can piece that at least together.
Roll a
Ah,
wisdom check for me. Or
okie
actually,
dokie.
history or religion.
Well, he's certainly better at religion. Yeah, it's a 15 on that religion check.
You've heard of unholy abominations that feast on blood. You wouldn't necessarily know the name of vampire.
Some sort of demonic being that feasts on blood. It took its toll on me, and I, in my own weakness, gave in to its temptations. I believe I may be one of such creature, potentially. But for now, I, if I were to take a guess, I would say what you saw and what happened to me may be connected to the one called Las Verlo the Silent.
What do you mean one that feasts on blood, like a leech?
A leech, yes, but um, typically they're more demonic in nature, or at the very least necrotic.
Strange. Would I have any idea what he's talking about? Can't imagine I encountered too many vampires in the military.
You could do history or religion as well. You could have a vague understanding of mythological creatures from like childhood stories, but other than that, it's one of those things that it's among a world of monsters and varied races. Sometimes it seems absurd when people talk about these things that nobody's witnessed when there's plenty of things that are superhuman.
I don't know. I was in a bordello one time and a woman bit my neck. Sort of looked like that, but less spidery.
Well, I can assure you that this was no woman. This was a fiend of some kind. But we very well should be on our guard around, once again, Lasferlo the Silent and his guards. Not only are they potentially affiliated with the cult in some way, they are aware of my connection to Arlisle.
And what about the rest of us? Do we still have our cover?
They didn't mention any of the rest of you by name. So for now, probably for the best that you just stick away from me. You may not be compromised.
And with that, Doc will start speaking loudly again, and loud enough for everybody to hear. And he'll just say, "Just keep your eye on it, and if it swells up, we'll pop it before the eggs hatch." And then he'll just walk away.
Thank you, Doctor. I will do so. And he will walk back to Lilu's wagon. He says I should be fine unless the swelling gets worse.
Good. He said the spiders will hatch probably within the day. Do you feel them crawling inside of you?
No, I believe I was able to avoid the egging. This is just swelling from the venom before they injected the eggs.
You sure you don't want us to cut it out? We could like heat up a knife and maybe burn them out? Use some sort of fire?
Oh no, that won't be necessary, but if it does become necessary, I will entrust you with that task.
I think Barian has some acids. We could melt them away.
Well, for now we have to be sure there even are eggs. So, in 24 hours, we'll see if spiders come crawling out, and if so, have Barian pour the acid.
I don't think you fully appreciate how large that mass is growing on your neck. If those hatch, I don't know how I don't think you want those to hatch.
Oh, you're being too worrisome, and I appreciate your concern, but I have had worse experiences.
Had worse?
And he will say with the gravity of all these nightmares and vivid horrors he's just experienced, much worse.
A little young to retire, but it may be time to retire if this is where your life is taking you.
Lathander's work is never done. As long as the sun shines, I will continue my quest. He will say by sheer force of habit.
Anyone else attempting to do anything across the evening? So with that, everybody can take a long rest. Tinus, you are on a flopped schedule, but you don't necessarily require one as you are presently waking up from a long rest.
So I sleep in the day now. Oh, suspicious.
At some point in time, like discreetly, Doc would attempt to kind of like get alone with Vicious and Hadar and let them know about like the strange silence and trying to wake them up and everything as well.
Like you're trying to gather both of them together so the three of you can speak?
No, like one and then the other, but like discreetly sometime.
So let me have the three of you roll a d12. Hadar, can you roll a d12?
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
All
Amazing.
right. So you and Hadar are on the same watch, taking watch across the first portion of the evening. It's not necessarily the best of times to speak, but you feel that you at least have a chance of being able to make it over to him discreetly. Usually the first watch is while any stragglers who might not initially go to sleep are still awake. And you would also notice that Vicious is not on that watch in particular.
All right, so I guess like when I get him alone, kind of somewhere or whatever, like just smoke a cigarette or whatever and offer him one. Care for a smoke there? Getting kind of lonely by myself.
Yeah, but I would take the cigarette and eat it. This tastes kind of strange, man, but thank you anyways.
Just wait. That thing's gonna wreak havoc on that stomach of yours, my man. And then he'll kind of quietly just fill Hadar in. Look, there's something strange going on in this camp. I don't know what's wrong with Tinus, but did you see him get bit by a spider in the cave?
Well, I think it would be more like that I was the one who was dying in the cave, but I don't really remember what happened there. So, you know, I don't remember.
He has a strange bite mark on his neck and spoke of undead fiends in his dreams. And the other night when I was on watch, I looked throughout the camp and it was completely silent. I went around to each of you and attempted to shake you awake, and you just stared into the darkness, eyes wide open, lifeless. And finally it took hold of me and I fell asleep myself. Be careful, there's some dark magic about, and I don't know if he's at the center of it, in cahoots or a victim, but be on your guard nonetheless.
So you're telling me that we should be cautious of Tinus, or what?
I don't know, just we should be cautious.
Well, I mean, I think I already were cautious before because of the Dragon Guild, and now another bl- blunder. So, but probably do you think that, I don't know, did you ever hear of do you think the Dragon Guild could do such things, or?
Perhaps, I mean, I've no reason not to trust him, but he is the newest of our group. He's done nothing to lose my trust and much to gain it, but you never know if he could fall under the power of some dark magic or pledged to the wrong god, for instance. Haven't you noticed he's always praying, it seems like?
Yeah, but then I already see a lot of holy men, and every one of them is praying all the time. You know, it's nothing special with them, right? So
You know more than me. You monks are just as much into your religion as the priests are. Me personally, I prefer to worship the spoils of this world. And he'll obviously hit his cigarette and take a drink from his flask and offer it up to you.
he takes a sip too, and afterwards like, well, don't lump every monk with with everyone else. I feel like in my monastery back then, we were not focused on the holy aspect of the world. We were like more into the aspect of fighting and enjoying life with a lot of food.
I like your style, friend. And with that, he'll just kind of give him a wink and say, just keep your eyes peeled and be cautious. Look after yourself before everyone else.
Just
And with that, Doc will kind of like step away.
before if we wait, Doc, one more thing. So if something happened next time you want to tell me, we just make and he tries to do something with his fist and sometimes like and be like, "This is my signal next time. If you want to talk, I can show you." And you,
You just want me to do that thing with the fist from a distance, and that'll let you know that I need to talk to you?
yeah, or if something is wrong again, or you find something out, or whatever.
Roll a performance
All
check,
right.
Adar.
I just think it's cool.
Adar shows you like a 5-part like hand signal.
All right. I'll let you know if I need to talk to you. And if you need to talk to me, just pretend like you're begging for food.
Yeah, good to know. I will try to not do that if nothing's wrong. So I will only do it if something is wrong.
I don't believe you, but okay.
Well, yeah, and then Hader also leaves, turns around and just tries to go in the other direction.
So you can either try to gather Vicious up now, or wait towards a later point in the evening to try to speak with Vicious.
No, I'll wait for like a less like conspicuous time.
Anyone else trying to do anything along the first watch? So when
No.
would you want to contact Vicious?
Maybe like as my watch is ending, can I see, is she going on to watch or is she around still?
You kind of glance around and you would see someone else from her cart coming to at that point, and recognize pretty clearly that, let's see, as Gaitlin from her cart kind of takes to watch, you're pretty confident that Vicious will not be on this watch.
All right, I'll just duck out and leave it for another time.
So, Tinus, you have the entire evening to yourself as you are wide awake, having plenty of energy at that point. Would you join those others who go on watch, or would you watch alone?
Tinus would probably be watching alone for now, as he's not sure how safe he is around them. But yeah, for now, he would be going on watch alone, uh, mostly keeping to himself, unless someone approached him directly.
So let's have you roll 2 perception checks, but I'll take all 4 rolls from it.
One natural one, and then a 12.
So let's see. Nearest the darkest point of the night, as the moon itself is approaching its I guess as it would be waning from the zenith, as it approaches setting for the night, you would start to hear a distant chanting. It would at first recall sounds of prayers and some sort of service, but the very nature of the fact that it's happening at night would be unsettling as well.
Hmm. Well then, Tinus will try to stealthily investigate. He'll go towards the sound, moving quietly and try to mask his presence. Let's see. This would be another good time to cast enhance self, and give him
Cat's eye,
the
or I think cat's
yep.
grace. So you can roll a stealth check, and I believe that gives you advantage.
Indeed.
And with that, you would pretty quickly leave like the immediate vicinity of the camp as you were searching out this area.
Okie dokie. Yeah, it's a 17 on that. So yeah, he's just going to sneak off, trying to get close enough to understand the chanting. And once he ascertains some nature of what this might be, he'll be trying to get back to the camp and warn the other guards.
You all are in the general outskirts of the farmlands that encompass Daggerford. So you're not yet to the actual city proper, but this is one of the things about this age where there are farmlands that encompass many hundreds of square miles beyond like a small town that they support. And as you all understood, you're kind of still in the middle of nowhere. You don't really understand anybody who should be in this general vicinity. And you get about a quarter of a mile away from the camp, and the chanting is noticeably louder, but it's still certainly faint in the night. What are your thoughts on progressing forward?
Then he's going to progress forward on his own. He will keep moving towards it again until he gets a good sense of what this chanting is, or I would say who this chanting is for.
Let me have you do another stealth check, and then you can do another performance check.
That one is a 14 and a 15 on performance.
Oh, my bad. That should have been perception.
Oh,
So what? Your
I don't know if I have this
perception is +3, so it's 4 more than that. Yeah. The language is clearly nothing that you understand. You're still a ways off. You're relatively familiar that you've traveled a good portion away from the camp towards this sound. So you are somewhere in between 2/3 of the way there or halfway there. As far as you understand, like your understanding of like the human voice, how much it is increased in volume as you've traveled towards it, and how far you've traveled this evening.
interesting. Yeah, this seems a little off to Tinus. The fact that this voice would be able to travel such a great distance. Uh, hmm. But this could be related to the cult. Nah, yeah, no. After everything, Tinus isn't feeling particularly adventurous about this kind of stuff. He will begin to. Nah, there's no way to make note of a language you don't understand. He's going to start making his way back towards the camp, uh, with the sole purpose of letting the other guards know that this kind of thing is off in the distance, but that it may not necessarily be a threat to them.
So you can otherwise make it back to the camp with next to no issue. And again, there's pretty much somebody on guard from each of the different wagons, so you can share with them as you will.
Yeah, he's going to tell them that there seems to be some sort of bizarre ritual happening in whatever direction he just came back from, about, let's say, a mile away. And the fact that their voices carried as far as it did denotes that there's likely some sort of magic involved. So that's basically the information he would share with any other guard.
Solstag from Green Imps's cart is on duty, and he's actually a veteran of this trail. And as you start to share some of the information, he comes forward to you and he warns you that there is definitely a lot of cult activity in this area, that it is probably best not to aggravate or interrupt them, as dangerous things might be afoot if they are openly practicing this evening.
He's gonna. Are you have any awareness of what they are a cult of? Are they praying to some dark god?
Let's see. I don't take much for religion. I'm much more of those who keep to themselves and keep out of the business of others. But if I know anything of those who come to power in places like this, they are usually selling something for powers from those in other planes.
I see. Some sort of fiend, maybe. For now, I think you're right. We should just try to carry on without attracting their attention. And with that, Tinus will return to his normal watch, but he's definitely going to be specifically listening for that sound to see if it gets any louder or any closer as the night goes on.
It continues on for about 2 more hours into the night. So well past the setting of the moon and into the kind of rising of the sun, like the first signs of the sun at the horizon. And that's vaguely around when your perception of it starts to wane until you don't think you hear it anymore.
Wow, all night. Oof. Then, yeah, I think what Tinus is going to see if he can stay awake during the day, like as a separate thing from this specific cult activity. Tinus is going to try to not go to sleep as the sun rises. And certainly he's going to try to get a good long look at the sun as it brings him comfort, or it always has in the past.
Yep. So as everybody else takes a long rest, the sun rises, everybody can start their days off without any issue. Kind of sees the sunrise, and it would probably be extremely comforting.
Yeah. I think I will take the point of exhaustion to try to stay up throughout the day.
You're not yet at that point yet.
All right, then yeah, he's gonna just try to stay up to more or less to comfort Lilu, to let it be like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not gonna pass out into a catatonic state today. So he'll try to stay up with the rest of the caravan as the day progresses.
So morning thoughts for everyone as you start to gather yourselves and prepare for your next day on the road and hopefully the last day's travel into Daggerford.
When Tinus eats breakfast with Lilu and her wagon, is it any different than normal? Like, does the food taste duller?
Everything has no flavor to you.
Crap. Yeah, that's a symbol. Yeah, he's as he eats more for show than any actual enjoyment, or I mean, he's probably still at least getting some level of fullness from it. He just sort of has a bland expression, which is in contrast to his normal enjoyment of food in the morning. As a cleric of Lathander, the morning breakfast is usually a time of joy for them. He doesn't have any of that right now.
Yeah, I feel like Hader would kill himself if he had that problem.
Thankfully, Tinus is not overly attached to food, but he is very disappointed that this morning ritual is now marred by whatever is wrong with him.
Going in my notes that Hadar wants to become a vampire.
Join me, Hadar.
Well, it depends. How good does blood taste?
It probably tastes quite exquisite to somebody who only gathers flavor from drinking blood.
You know, Hader would go like berserk and kill everyone he sees.
He'd go into a blood rage.
So everybody else, any sort of morning rituals, anything morning-wise you would like to gather, complete?
I would start like try to whoever I see at the camp and like start to gossip. You also heard like I heard there's some strange things going on at night.
What sort of things did you want to talk about?
No, nothing specific, but like, I'm just like you hear that too. I I heard someone told me that there's something happening at night. Is it? I didn't get it. It's only me who missed that. Like more to everything. I want to gossip. Whoever is the first person who talks to me or is near me who I can talk to.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, there's no issue with you finding people to gossip about or gossip with. But the caravan is most people who are veterans of this recognize that there's dangers at every turn along this road, along this journey. Most people who are new on this trip are already coming to terms with the reason why you hire people at extensive wages is because of the dangers of this journey. So a lot of people are almost numb to the thought of like the dangers and the drama that might come across as they travel from. Most of these caravans have started in Baldur's Gate. There's extreme danger in passing through the fields of the dead. So there's like chatter that you can get, but you have to give me more information if there's something you want to in particular talk about.
No, I just want to chat her. That's all what I wanted.
So at some point in you kind of going about that, after you would actually sit down to enjoy some food, whether it's before you going about that or afterwards, you would see as Radisir kind of pops up from her little like sitting off to herself, kind of minding her own business, and she would walk over to you, Hadar, and say, "Did the green one speak to you? Are you all going to do that today?"
Which green one?
Your friend, the ugly one, not the pretty one,
I only have ugly friends.
the orc.
Ouch.
Oh, you're talking about dog.
You don't think Imsa's pretty? She's just cursed. The orc's always going to be an orc.
Yeah, I know. I mean, everyone has his good side, but I feel like everyone else who's not food is not pretty. So,
Man,
Is
just gonna do us like
Is
that?
that all that you think about is just food? I heard the orc was actually holding out a bunch of really tasty food things. She got things like muffins, and she has things like steak. I actually heard she's got a prime rib, and she was storing it in that wagon over there. And she points off to this wagon. If you actually confront her about it, if you're able to knock her into the wagon, I should be able to take that stuff and I can give you the muffins. I'll give you the steak. You can have the prime rib.
you see like hey, they're drawing and everything. And it's, wait, you want to? It would be a crime and everything. I feel like I know. I don't feel like food would taste good if we steal it.
Food tastes better when you steal it. You never stolen anything. So much food and you never raided the pantry after dark?
Well, that was different. I knew the people I was stealing from before, but you mean? Oh wait, I knew dog too.
Yeah, I think I definitely got the impression you're pretty close with the orc. You just seem to be kind of like looks about, just seem to be hiding that you know each other. So I'm sure she just forgot to give you a muffin. They're really, really tasty. Somebody made a little cream spread. It's got butter and sugar and it tastes so sweet. Mwah! Tastes like fresh strawberries.
Yeah, but also I know Wishes and me came here
Are
together,
you
and I
losing
didn't.
weight right now? You look like you're maybe 15 or 20 pounds light. I think you're eating a little bit too little for yourself. You should probably eat more. And she walks away.
Okay.
You should take a bite out of her.
For now, I'm just gonna remember that. And if is Wishes nearby, so is she already awake?
I would assume that Vicious is making her porridge. It's well on into the morning at this point, where most people should be nearing being finished packing.
Then I'm gonna I'm going to over to Wishes and be like, "Hey, you there? So someone told me that you have some fine steak you're hiding. Would you mind that you can sell me some of that? I would really love to eat some good food. And someone told me you have good food."
Okay, so I'm gonna look over at the gnome and then look back at Hadar and go, "Oh right, I forgot. We're supposed to get in a fight. So basically, it'll kind of be like a workout session, except I'm gonna hit you harder. Is that all right?"
Wait, I want to eat and not to fight you.
I don't have any food for you, and I'll shove him.
Can I? I would dodge that if I can.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to let her push you, you can certainly try.
I don't want to let her push me.
So he kind of like steps back away from you and like clears the ground from you.
Timmy, what are you doing, man?
I'm gonna shove him harder. We're
Well,
supposed to get in a fight, you doof.
are you an actress or what do you want? Wait till you're supposed to fight, yes?
All right, now I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
get.
hit him.
So roll an attack roll for me. If it's just an unarmed strike, you can roll an unarmed strike. Otherwise, I think it's just like d20 plus your strength bonus. And I don't think you have proficiency, but yeah, +6. So you probably do have proficiency. Yep.
So do I roll damage? I don't actually want to hurt him.
Roll a performance check for me.
And like, I don't have any extra food. I don't have any muffins.
So did you move closer to this wagon? What are you thinking, Vicious, on where you would kind of position things?
I would want to be away from the wagon. I didn't understand that bit before, but I'm gonna try to be moving away from the wagon and making as loud a noise as I can.
My bad, I didn't mean to roll that damage. Let me have you roll a d6. So Vicious gets really into this idea, and kind of forgets that she's not playing with a orc. She's playing with a human and punches you for 6 damage. What are your thoughts when you get punched in the face, Hadar?
What? What are you doing, orc?
Stop insulting my family.
Yeah, if I feel like your family doesn't know how to speak and only fight. Do you have something in your brain, stupid orc?
You idiot! We're supposed to be having a pretend fight. Hit me back.
I don't want to fight you. Why should I fight you? You want to fight, but what did I do to you, girl?
Are you going to strike him again, Vicious?
Oh yeah.
So roll another attack to hit. Another unarmed strike. And then another d6. So that punch, she does 9 damage to you, Hadar.
Can I try to find somebody to bet on the fights with?
I'm
Good
gonna
idea.
pull out my quarter staff and gonna hit Wishes on the head.
You can roll an attack against Vicious. Let's see, Doc. Let me have you do... if you've got, like, charisma performance or charisma persuasion, probably even do... Realistically, if you have a charisma skill that you have proficiency in, I'll give you... Oh, shit, yeah.
I'm gonna do a luck point on that.
We suck at this.
And what is your thought on what you would like to bet?
Just gonna before I do, I want to do it with 2 hands to strike. Yeah.
I'm just gonna yell out that who wants to bet on the fights? And then I'll say I'll give you 2 to 1 on the fat one or the orc. I don't care. I just want to bet.
Can Tinus hear this?
Yeah, the entire camp would kind of be gathering forward around that point. 2 to 1 is what? You'll bet 2 gold per gold that you would earn?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Take your pick, but you can't wait too long. I don't care which one I bet on. I just want to wager some money. I like to take chances.
Tinus will shout out, 2 gold on the orc.
Maybe you should save your gold for medical bills, boy.
Shut up and take my bet.
So 2 of the heroes of Daggerford will take the bet against the orc. So 2 of them will bet on Hadar.
All right.
Are they crazy?
Who doesn't bet on an orc in a fight?
So one will basically take Tinus's bet. One will take your bet there, Doc. Are you continuing to try to bet? Because
All right, so
you're almost
am I
like
betting?
gathering the bets at this point, like for the entire camp.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's cool. So how much do I have in right now? Do I have 2 against 4, or 4 against 2 rather, or do I have 2 against 1?
You basically have 2 against 1 right now. But it's more or less up to you to dictate to me how many people you are going to take bets against, like bets from, who you're going to bet with. You
Okay,
could
okay.
have
I was just
multiple people betting for whichever side that you want, and you can bet with these people.
okay. So after the next attack, I'm gonna try to get even money on the orc if Hadar hurts Vicious. Otherwise, I'll take another 2 to 1.
Tinus is gonna try to drum up some people to bet on his side.
Just
So you can do a performance check for me, Tinus. And yeah, I think Hadar would hit you for 7 damage with that next hit from the quarterstaff.
It's a
yeah.
2.
Right.
He's not convincing anyone.
Oh yeah, he really put his weight into that one. It's even money from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants to take Hadar? I mean, the monk.
I
I'm
would
telling
want
you
to.
guys, just bet on the orc.
I would want to perform the stunning strike with my hit.
Oh
You have
no.
to do a con saving throw at DC of 13, which is, and I'm gonna just shout, "Stop that! Stop hitting me!"
Make a con save, Vicious.
Uh-oh.
Vicious
That
seems
hurt.
stunned.
Gonna take my. Is Wishes wearing shoes?
I don't know, does an orc Vicious wear shoes?
I don't know. Yes.
So I want to tie your laces together with my next action.
That takes a long time.
Make a dexterity check for me. Doc, you have 4 more people take even money on Vicious. Like right
Nice,
now,
nice.
I think you would have 10 against 9 on Vicious. I think that's the right numbers. You feel pretty confident that you were able to tie her shoelaces together. Vicious, you look down after getting bopped in the head with his quarterstaff. Hadar is kneeled down at your feet. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna kick him.
Are you going to... Let me have you do a wisdom saving throw right now. I think Vicious is
I'm gonna
rage
kick him.
and then kick you.
What was that?
I think you're gonna rage and then kick him. The moment he stunned you, you're like, oh, wait. Yeah, I'll rage. You forgot it was supposed to be a sparring match. Leave a 19 hits.
Yeah.
A crit will also hit. So roll
Oh,
3d6
dang.
for me.
Tinus will shout, "Hit him into the wagon!"
And then 3d6.
So I'm gonna be roaring and just making all sorts of ruckus, and hopefully no one is looking at whatever wagon they're not supposed to be looking at.
Vicious, let me have you roll 3d6, please. All right, Hadar. So you take 5, 12, 13 damage. One of which would be, I think it's thunder damage from her rage. As she rages out, and her kicks seem to have snapped through your ability to tie her shoelaces. What would you like to do, Hadar?
Wait, so how much damage did I take?
13 on that last one. I think you're at about like
10.
13, 22, 28 total damage that she's done to you.
Yeah, so I have 10 points left. Well, I'm a bit. You donkey! Stop hitting me! and I would use my action to roll away, to disengage, and shout at her, "Stop it!" And just take like five steps away. So
Make a dexterity saving throw for me. As you try to roll away, you hear screamings from all about this little area the two of you have started to fight, where people are crying and moaning, "Get back in there! Finish her! I've got money on you! Why are you running?" My bad, I might have pressed that too soon there. My apologies. Vicious. Hadar is running away from you.
I'm gonna throw my arms up in the air, like I'm being a champion. Like I said, I don't actually really want to hurt him, but he's pretty damaged.
Let me have you do another wisdom check for me, or wisdom save.
Doc will yell, "Finish him off. It's all for fun now. We got money on this fight."
Yeah, Tinus will join in. Yeah, she's winning. That means we're gonna get so much gold.
I think vaguely you would have this idea cross your mind that you weren't supposed to brawl him, but I think that's enough that your rage is still kind of telling you, like, pummel him into the ground. And I also believe that Hadar would be 40 feet away from you, so it probably feels a lot like you're gonna have to throw a weapon at him.
Ooh, that seems like a bad idea. Can I throw a weapon to land near him?
No, that was a check like how conscious you were versus how much your rage was taking over.
All right, so I'm gonna run after him and try and grapple him.
You don't have that distance. He runs faster than you.
I forgot that. Okay, so I guess I'll throw something at him. Near him. I'd like to throw near him and not hit him.
So again, I wanted you to roll over 15 to be able to just straight up decide what you were doing. I think your rage is too much. Like, it was a DC 10 when you were trying to figure out whether you were going to rage, DC 15 when it was a decision about whether you could
God,
stop
he's
yourself
dead.
from raging.
Is he dead?
And roll a D6? No, it's on auto. That'll knock him unconscious.
All right, so now I'm gonna lift my arms above my head again and start to cheer, and then I'm gonna turn to everybody and go, "Does anyone else want to fight me?"
The crowd disperses real quick as they see the true might of the orc stand tall, and people are like, "Holy shit, she's 5 feet away from me. I need to move away from this girl. Dear Lord." And people just kind of walk backwards, like, not like making eye contact with you, but they're keeping their eyes on you, and they are noticeably diverting their eyes, like looking down, keeping their heads to the ground. So what is it? Tinus, you can make a gold, and Doc, you can make 9 gold on that.
Woo.
So I'll pull Vicious to the side and say, "Hey, not bad in there, Orc. You've earned your cut. Here's 10%." And I'll go to give her a gold. And assuming everybody's gone now, I'm going to use this opportunity to let her know about the strange shit that's been going on.
All right, so after people have left, I'm gonna go check on Hadar and make sure he's still breathing.
Tinus is heading back to his wagon to again make sure that no one assumes they're all together.
So Doc, you kind of take that moment and you notice, like, Vicious is clearly like ramped up on adrenaline still, and that perhaps she's not going to be capable of being covert enough to have the discussion at that point. And that perhaps this is just not the ideal time to say it, as she's like standing over the unconscious body of Hadar, essentially like doing her bit to keep him conscious so he doesn't die, but also like you like from experience, know that she's still, like, essentially coming off a high.
No worries. All calm yourself down. Here's your spoils, and I'll hand her the gold.
All right, I'll pocket it.
So I am going to take a few moments here, grab some coffee, and come back shortly here. But everybody can kind of figure out what they're generally going to do for this day here. Is what I think that was meant to be the morning.
What a morning.
Yeah, well, I made up my mind. Hater's gonna sell wishes for food next time.
He's gonna sell vicious fruit.
I'm gonna build a master plan to sell wishes.
Don't worry, Hadar. Even the loser gets paid in this game. So that's going to earn you, let's see, 9. Loser gets half the cut. So you'll get 5 silver from me also.
Well, I mean,
Adar, next time you're supposed to hit me back. It's a better show that way.
you should have told me in the beginning that this is a show. You
I
just
tried.
hit me. You just said, "Oh, I remember I have to act," or you just punched me then. Yes, just started to mess with me, didn't you? But
All
I'm
right,
gonna
I'm
grab
gonna
something
take
to
out
eat.
some rations and hand them over to him and be like, "All right, we friends again. I'll give you some food."
Well, Hater's just gonna nip it. But out of character, I'm gonna grab something to food here, and I'll be back in a minute.
I love Tinus just adding to the chaos. That was fun. He had no idea what was going on, but I decided he might have a little bit of WrestleFan in him.
We might as well make some money.
Yeah, you know Doc's always looking for an opportunity to drink, gamble, fornicate, pretty much anything fun.
And I just made Tinus a little personal gold, so he's got 2 personal gold now. Really regretting not investigating that chanting more thoroughly. I should have kept going with that. Then again, I also might have died. So
You might
Go
already
wrong
be
when you
dead.
split the party.
yeah, splitting the party was kind of the idea that got me to turn back. It was like, this could be any cult of anything, and there's a lot of things Tinus can't fight on his own.
Like what, a turtle?
He does literally 0 damage when he hits something. So like,
That was so funny when you rolled your damage and it was -1, so you did 0.
it's the first time I've ever seen a 0 in this game. That was just I roll. It's literally nothing. And he was using his mace when he did that. So like, that's a feat.
Is everyone otherwise here right now?
Oh, I think
Oh, yeah.
Jan went to grab a bite to eat.
I went off and got some chips a little earlier. I didn't say anything, but no one noticed.
So did we notice if the gnome got like enough of an opportunity to steal what she needed? I know that she wanted him to throw something into the cart or whatever, but
I would say in general, you all were a little bit too enraptured by the actual festive nature of what was going on to notice. Because
oh yeah, my
He
character
should be
wouldn't know
noticing
either way.
something.
Vicious was the only one who knew that it was supposed to be acting like you were fighting. And it just so happened, like, I created a table to see how their performance would be in acting like they were fighting. And it was like 1 to 8 plus your performance bonus. Like, your performance bonus, like, as part of the roll. But 1 to 8 was your damage die would go up a level. And it was... I have it, like, here. It was, like, I think, 8 options were just normal damage dice, and then the top options were like reducing the damage die. So of course she rolled low as fuck to increase the damage tier. I was like, yes. And then of course Hadar had no fucking clue that it was supposed to be acted, and I could not help but be like, yeah, Radishir's gonna be looking at him and like, yeah, I'm not gonna convince him to play at this. I'm gonna tell him she's hiding food.
I mean, smart. We've already seen his primary motivator for everything is food.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's welcome to do anything, but I don't understand how we are going to have character development with Hadar when all he cares about is food, because you don't have to go adventuring to find food.
Well, I mean, Tinus currently has provided him the most food recently, so I like to imagine he is currently beholden to Tinus.
I mean, I like Doc's character development. He's a simple man, but he always finds himself in fun situations. So, and obviously he likes to fight as well.
I like how my character's development is consistently turn undead.
Well, I think turn undead makes the undead turn away. Your character turns into undead.
Yeah, that's what I meant. My character development is always just to become an undead creature somehow.
I made what? This wagon train has 10 or 11 wagons in it. The last one had, I think, 8 or 9. 2 of those moved into this wagon train, and you just... No, 3 of them moved into this wagon train, and you just managed to find the one wagon out of 17 that had anything to do with undead. It's not me who chooses undead.
Oh yeah, it seems to be a very consistent theme with me. First Apkin becomes a lich, now Tinus becomes a vampire. I'm surprised. I guess if I had played a little bit more with Asa, he probably would have turned into some sort of, I don't know,
Definitely.
some sort of like weird robotic undead creature. I don't know how he would have done it.
Like Robot Frankenstein, they bring him back to life with the real brain.
Yeah, he would have been put into like a corpse body, his machine brain.
You still haven't read any of the background on Eberron. That's literally what the Warforged are. They're dead soldiers whose consciousness was put into robotic bodies. They are an abomination to life because you have to kill people to be able to make them.
Oh, so my trend is already consistent.
I read a little bit about the Warforge, and wasn't it like weren't they like fighting necromancers or liches or something like that? And so they like made the robots so that they couldn't be like brought back to life as enemies or something like that?
Yep, pretty much. It was like their wars they were basically losing a war against the undead, and part of the solution was to basically prevent things from dying.
Yeah, it's like pretty badass. It's like every time one of their like badass like people would die or like their army would like die, the undead would just like raise them, and then there was just more guys to fight. So they like created the Warforge so they couldn't be brought back.
So I might be able to cure Tinus. Once we get to Daggerford, I'll have him do some like research to figure out what exactly is going on with him. But he has the spell remove curse, so
Which wagon was that she was like trying to steal from?
I mean, for what it's worth, it's kind of vague as to what any given thing is. But it is Edhelry Lewell. She was one of the people who joined the group in Dragonspear. But there's no reason for you all to know much of anything other than it was just somebody who joined in Dragonspear.
Oh yeah, I got you. I mean, I wouldn't even know she stole anything. I was just curious, like for my own.
Yeah, so it's somebody who joined in Dragonspear. You've seen they have 4 employees and then another person who seems to be riding on the back of the wagon. So it's like 6 people on that wagon. But yeah, I mean, realistically, also, Doc wouldn't even know that the theft was the entire reason that Radisir was approaching those 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I would have no idea as a character. I was just curious, like as a person.
It was hard to play it, but my idea was to split the party into 3 groups of Tinus being fuckered in his dreams, Radisir approaching Hadar and Vicious to fuck with the cart, and then Solomon speaking with Doc and Arlyle about some random shit.
Did I miss anything? I just came back. It was good home to eat.
Nope, just chilling at this point. I think we're just waiting for Jamie.
Oh, I'm here.
All right, word. I think that was the last. Then was for Jan.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
So when Doc pays you your the gold, when you eventually put that into your pouch, Vicious, you would notice that there is a small pouch of coins already in your pocket.
That I didn't know was there before.
That you did indeed not notice was there before.
All right, that's really weird. But it's much better than having strange nightmares.
So as far as things go, assuming that you open it up, it has 5 gold in it.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and Hadar, I don't know if you marked 5 silver, but I pay you 5 silver for losing the fight.
Yeah, he threw the
What?
fight. I mean, because we're all like, performers and making this stuff up, right? There was no actual pain.
No, not for throwing the fight. I pay the winner and the loser because it makes me money either way.
Well, I'm gonna try to keep distance from Vicious for a moment.
But you said Vicious stabilized Hadar and like brings him back and everything.
He wasn't completely dead.
He had a javelin through his chest.
Yeah, you can walk that off. You can walk that off.
Yeah, definitely. You wanna try a javelin in your chest?
Nah. I've had my fair share of injuries walked off.
You gotta somewhat play the part of the orc who is a pirate. You can't just be kind to somebody. You have to actually play some of that background.
Yeah.
Pirate orc. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I think I liked how that played out, so everything good.
A pork.
On some level, he should be happy that you were not hitting him with your hammer.
You're still alive.
Just slap him on the ass, tell him to walk it off.
Any fight you can walk away from, it's a good day, right?
I prefer no fight.
She tells you this, Hadar. You fail to appreciate the idea of having to walk it off, as you recognize that not only do you have to walk it off, you have to walk it off all the way back to Daggerford, because you don't have a cart to ride on while you are injured.
So why did you punch me, Wishes? So what did I do to you? I don't really get it. I just wanted to ask you if you can send me some food.
Didn't that little gnome go over to you? I saw her. She wanted us to cause some sort of weird diversion. Anyway, we made money off of that.
Well, I would be happy to spend my money and be happy again, but you know, I don't have. I feel like 5 silver is not worth going to Daggerford with this injury and not on this trip. I feel like you guys are seriously forgetting how dangerous this whole extra is.
You'll recover. Don't worry about it. We should do this again. That was kind of fun.
By the way, but one question I have, that little gnome girl or whatever she is, told me that you have some food, some delicious luxurious food, and one told me she wants to steal it from your car, and I was like, no, let's just. Didn't want to fight you, and in the end you fought me. I don't know. I feel like I was stabbed in my back for giving you trust, and you punched me.
He told you Vicious was hiding it on that cart.
Yeah, but she also wanted to distract Wishes, and so she can steal from the car.
She never
Yeah.
told you anything about stealing.
All right, then I got that wrong. But I'm still
You can
Wishes. So
probably gather that, after Vicious talks about she wanted you two to fight, you can probably gather that she trusted your belly, but not the rest of you.
well. So what this little girl told you so that you punched me? I mean, there had to be something on the line for doing that, right?
And there was something about something being on the wagon, but mostly I just wanted to fight. It's kind of fun. First thing in the morning, get your blood moving, wakes you up.
That
You
is an
know,
orc mentality right there.
No, I can understand this is tradition in your family or for you, but if you want to fight, you probably can fight with someone else next time. Probably the imposters.
Mikey and the wagon owner who Vicious works for kind of looks across at you two like, you two know each other. Did you stage that? Maybe you shouldn't be speaking about this openly. I don't think it's good to cheat people. It will often come back on you.
It wasn't staged. He's too stupid to do that.
I'm so seriously, I was nearly dying, but thank you for your recommendation. We are not. I feel like we are. I'm not getting any sense out of this arc right now, and I'm gonna step away. I know I can't step away because I'm nearly dead.
It would be as everything kind of progresses forward. So the day gets on. You all travel. You start to get into more regular villages and farmsteads across the tradeway before eventually making your way into Daggerford early in the evening. You would kind of pass through the gates and travel inside the main city of Daggerford.
As we're entering the city, Tinus is going to keep an eye on. Let's see. Hold on. Uh, I'm returning to Tinus's original plan before this whole vampirism thing, so I'm checking the wagon he was going to be watching. Um, that's weird. I just have it written down as the 12th, the 12th wagon. I don't know what I meant by that when I wrote these. He's gonna be watching one of the wagons that joined them in Dragon's Reach. Definitely not Last Varlo the Silent, but one of the other wagons to see where they head off to in Daggerford as the night progresses on.
If 12 is all you have, that is indeed less spell road.
Seriously? I wrote that before I knew anything. God damn it. Why am I inclined to this? Um, Anyone but last 11th wagon. Just one of the ones that joined in Dragon's Reach. My luck is really pushing me towards that one, but no, this is him investigating cult activity, not vampire activity. Then again, those aren't necessarily not connected. But for now, he's going to be watching, let's say, the 11th wagon that joined them in Dragon's Reach, and he's going to be trying to not know so much follow, but get a good eye on where they're going to park the wagon for the night, and if they're going to be like sleeping on it, or if they're going to like an inn.
So, as you all pass into Daggerford, you who currently still have a wagon that you are hired to, they all store their wagons in the same place. There is an entire area in Daggerford that they keep their wagons essentially right next to and near the market. But it is otherwise a not necessarily like secluded, but it's a like set up for storage of wagons. This is part of why Daggerford exists, as it's one of the last major stops before Waterdeep.
Cool. Once he knows that, he'll take note of just that specific wagon that he was watching to come investigate it later in the night. But once that stop is made, he's gonna rejoin, or not rejoin anyone. He's gonna split off, or I mean, I guess stick with. For now, he's gonna stick with Lilu until she gives him leave to go find rest for the night.
Doc's definitely going to ask Solomon if he plans to continue on with the wagon or if he's going to break off here also.
I believe I can continue on. I would like to try to contact those of my order to try to be able to gain a little bit more of a foothold on myself and my things, so perhaps I can gain some coin, perhaps re-equip a little bit of myself, and perhaps be able to hear from those above me whether I should continue on or wait for further instructions.
That was my next question, friend. If you needed a little coin to re-equip yourself, at least get some clothes and basic gear, perhaps a little armament.
Most assuredly, part of what I hope for is to be able to repay your kindness. So thank you very much, good sir. Most certainly appreciated, and with any luck, I will know shortly here what I shall be doing, and I will most certainly find you.
Of course, friend. Let me know if I can assist you further. No payment is necessary, but it will be greatly appreciated. And I guess depending on like how long the caravan's like staying here or whatever would be, at some point in time, I'll probably try to find a new wagon. Oh shit, this is a big city.
So again, sadly, the orientation is north is up. I could not find a map of Daggerford that also matched that and didn't look absolutely cartoonish. So this is a little interesting on that grounds there. But this is the city of Daggerford for you all. So overall, the caravan of wagons is resting inside of the marketplace. This would be among the first locations that you see some of the wagons actually put some effort into setting up their goods to actually prepare them for sale. This is one of the cities that there is like that level of action that can kind of go down, as there's a large amount of traffic here, both along the river as well as just the actual traffic being so near to the City of Splendors. But otherwise, you all can find plenty of things to entertain yourselves and any necessities that you might have. When Solomon ends up heading off for the night, he tells you that he will be heading off to... I feel like it is a pig place. Give me a second to look up the name of the bar. But he basically calls out a tavern that he intends to go to. Alright, not sure why I got distracted on that. The Flying Fish is where he tells you he will be. But otherwise, most of the caravan makes camp inside of that marketplace area as night sets, preparing to take time. Most of the caravan seems to intend to push on after a day's rest for the horses. Imsa needs to take some time to purchase a fresh horse, but otherwise seems to do the same. And it seems like, in general, that's the intention of the caravan at large.
And yeah, as day progresses tonight, yeah, Tinus isn't gonna do his thing until like moonrise, or the moon is at its peak. But until then, I guess he'll be looking around for a library or someplace to acquire knowledge on what's afflicting him.
So, how do you want to go around trying to find a library?
Find someone who looks native and ask them if there's a library.
All right, you
And
stop
like,
a
and
farmer.
if so, where. And he will say, "Excuse me, sir. Sorry to take this time out of your day. Are you aware of if there is a library, or yes, a library in the city of Daggerford? And if so, a general understanding of where it is?"
I think you're going to be needing to maybe use smaller words, or what's a library?
Books, book place.
I don't read. I'm sorry. I take
I
care of
see.
pigs.
I see. That is my apologies. He will move on from that person and try to find someone who looks well dressed. Not like noble, but like more dressed than a farmer.
Not naked.
And your next idea, somebody who is more dressed?
Just, yeah, a little bit better dressed. Better dressed than a farmer.
Like, role play something for me, Raz.
Okay, gotcha.
This is
I can
not
do
me
this then.
feeding you all information. I want you guys to engage with the story. If all you're looking for is somebody wearing clothes, I'm not going to give you anything.
I gotcha then. Tinus is going to be walking around the city and having a general understanding, being from a medieval time period. He knows farmers tend to dress for their fields and their work. So he's going to be looking around at people's shoes mostly. Farmers tend to be wearing shoes that either operate best in the field or might even be dirty. So as he takes note of the shoes of the people walking by, eventually he's going to find someone whose shoes look to be in particularly good care. Like not like they've never set foot in filth before, but like they're clearly not muddy boots or boots of any kind of field working variety. And as he looks that person up, yeah, he's going to try to approach them with like a casual wave of just, I'm new here. So he's specifically looking for someone with clean enough shoes to denote that they have not been out in the fields recently.
And you're saying, I'm new here.
Yep, his opening greeting is, "Hello, I'm new here, and I was gonna ask for some directions."
Congratulations, you've made it to Daggerford. Good day to you.
Well, not
They've
just
walked
so
away.
general. Ah, dang.
I want you to roleplay the interaction. I understand that you are no longer looking at a farmer. I want you to tell me what you say to somebody.
Gotcha. Well, then, assuming all of the same criteria for discerning another person, he's going to say, "Excuse me, sorry for taking time out of your day. Where's the library or bookstore?" He's gonna try a New Yorker approach.
Well, I don't sell books at all. I actually import different goods from across the different waterways of the region, but I believe somewhere inside of the city you might be able to find a guild who works in such things. I think they call themselves the Thinkers Fraternity.
Thinkers Fraternity. Any idea what direction I need to go in to get to them?
Well, if you're looking for something inside of a city, it's usually best to talk to a guard, somebody who like belongs in the city. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a merchant. I don't sell books.
You got a point. Thanks for your time. And he's gonna walk off to find a guard.
You can feel free to pay me for my time, though. I do appreciate money.
You weren't that much help. And he's gonna keep walking.
Well, fuck on.
We're taking the city boy approach now. To the guard. Are there guards walking around?
There are guards everywhere.
Perfect. Tinus is going to walk up to the nearest guard and say, "Excuse me, sir, I need to know where," or ma'am, damn it. "Excuse me, sir, I need to know where the Scribes Guild is." I instantly forgot what you said. I didn't write it down in fast enough.
We don't really have a Scribes Guild here in Daggerford.
Anyone who works with books?
Yep.
Where are they?
In the town, inside of the city walls.
Whereabouts inside the city walls? Can you give me a road or a street?
Yeah, if you progress down High Road, you shouldn't be able to miss it.
Much appreciated. And he's going to start heading for High Road.
As you
Looking
walk
at
away, you hear them
signage.
say, "Damn, I am so tired of these people who come in on wagons like they own the place.
This is
Ain't nobody asks, hey, how are you? What's your name? What do you like to do on your free time? No, I don't stand here on the wall day in and day out." And then you kind of walk far enough away that you no longer hear him bitching.
Yeah, he's going to be following the signs. I assume every city has signs, looking around for a high road where he's going to start looking for any kind of sign that indicates a pen, a quill, ink, scrolls, books, like anything related to writing.
It doesn't take you long to find the Thinkers Fraternity on the south end of the high road.
Nice. He's going to try to head inside.
You get stopped at the door. Are you a member of the guild?
I am not, but I've come seeking the guild's help.
And what sort of help do you need?
Research into a matter that is very significant to me.
Well, you, as a person from the street, you can certainly hire a researcher who will progress forward with the topics of your need. It is 2 gold per book, and we will get back to you within the 10-day.
Is it possible to get access to the books myself? I'm not going to be here long enough to take use of that.
Perhaps you don't understand the nature of creating books, but many of these have been created by people who have put their entire life's effort into making the book itself. We don't really like to just let people off the street look at a book.
Oh, wait, we're in medieval times. Books are still like important crap. Dang it, I
Going
forgot
to
that.
a library is not just can I
That's
walk through your library? Hence part of why you were getting a whole lot of shit for asking people about books.
Crap, I
So what is
completely
everybody else doing while
modern
Tinus
mindset.
is going about this town? Doc, Vicious,
Well,
Hadar?
Doc's gonna try to find a new gig, so I guess I'll go to like the merchant area where all the wagons are, and just kind of go around from like the ones I don't recognize, and inquire if anybody would be leaving tomorrow with the wagon train and would be interested in a escort or protection services.
I'll go with him, and this way maybe I'll get a better bargain than last time.
Not like with me, but yeah, you know what you meant.
No, like with you. They get 2.
Doc will tell Vicious, I think the best thing for us to do is to maintain our discretion. So far, it's been working quite well.
Huh.
It's going to look awfully shady if all of a sudden we show back up and appear to know each other to the people that we've been traveling with. I'm still curious about these, and I'll do like air quotes, heroes of Greenest. There's also some weird happenings going along. Hadn't had a chance to tell you yet, but a couple days back, in the middle of the night, I was on watch and something eerie came over the camp. It was complete silence. I walked around and no one was awake or conscious. Something strange was happening, and I attempt to wake basically every one of our group up discreetly, and they appeared to be in some sort of trance, eyes wide open, unable to move, frozen. And I felt a strange, compelling magic or something come over me. And next thing you know, I was asleep.
That's strange.
That's only the beginning. There's also something going on with Tinus. Now, don't get me wrong, I trust him. He's not giving me any reason not to, but he's the most recent to come to our group, and he appears to have been bitten by some kind of creature. It looks like a big spider bite, but I don't remember one getting to his neck in the cave, but it's swollen and full of pus. He spoke of some sort of demonic entity or something, some sort of weird dreams that he's been having. I don't know if he's under some kind of spell or some evil has become him, what god he's prayed to, but just watch your back and keep an eye out for any happenings.
So as you head into the marketplace, as a note, most of the caravan that you are currently a part of is taking a day here in Daggerford, so they'll be leaving in 2 days. So anybody who's leaving the next day is not going to be a part of this caravan.
Oh, okay, yeah, I meant leaving with the caravan we were already with.
Yeah, so you can try to do the same performance roll or strength check to try to impress somebody into hiring you as a guard.
I used a luck and got a 1, so I guess a 7.
You can find somebody who's willing to hire you at 5 gold per 10-day with food.
Sold.
One more person than I've got to create. Vicious, are you looking to try to negotiate with someone?
Yeah, I'll see if there are any likely looking merchants in the area.
Yeah, like the entire marketplace is filled with merchants and their wagons.
All right, I'll go up to one. Hey, are you leaving in with the wagon train that's headed for, not forgot, Waterdeep? because I could offer you some protection.
Yeah, we'll shortly be leaving town here. We were hoping to sell a little bit more of our wares, be able to buy the last bit of feed and whatnot to be able to make our way from Daggerford into Waterdeep.
Do you need protection against the ruffians that I know people this route?
Well, what's going to protect me from any orcs?
Well, I'm pretty loyal to those who hire me. You tell me what you need protected, and I'll protect it.
You're gonna fight orcs if orcs attack us?
I have no problem fighting orcs.
And the guards let you into the city?
Yes, I'm a respectable person.
Intriguing. Well, what kind of things do you do? Are you just good for like pushing a wagon? Are you able to can you handle any horses? What sort of job will you actually perform for us? So let me have you do either a performance or a strength check. Or rather a persuasion or a strength. Damn it, I did that wrong. Doc, what's your persuasion? It's the same as a performance.
Yeah, it's no different.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm impressed that your gusto there, little lady. You seem awfully intrigued in your own strength, but I need somebody a little bit more productive than that. But I do appreciate the thought that you're going to protect me from orcs. But I must say, I feel a little bit more inclined that you would bring me into danger than any others.
All right, I'm going to try the next merchant.
The same idea on how this is gone. You guys were supposed to get a single roll in a merchant, and that was it. So it's going to be another disadvantage on the roll, rather than like giving you guys this infinite chance of rolling at getting a better wage, because it's just meant to be a cost of living on your way to Waterdeep. So roll another one, strength or persuasion at disadvantage. It's the same thing as like when Hadar tried to negotiate. Like, it's not a negotiation. This is just supposed to be a function. You are able to find somebody who's willing to pay you 5 gold per 10 day.
Well, that's better than the whatever amount we used to get. So sure, I'll hire on for that.
It's the same thing that you already were getting paid when you screwed the person over who you were working.
What person?
You were running with Mikey and Keefe, a rare dense ore salesman, with Gaitlin Hare as the teamster, Belkil and Baz, and yourself. You were getting paid 5 gold per 10 day, the exact same agreement.
Right, but what do you mean the person we screwed over?
You're screwing them over because you were hired by this person and you just left.
I thought we were just hired to get to this town.
Nope, to Waterdeep.
Oh, okay. Well, we screwed that up.
Don't worry, it'll be some fun shit to roleplay next time. When you guys go to leave Daggerford, they're going to be looking for you.
Oh, dang.
How many days did it take us to get to the city? I need to to calculate how many rations I needed for the trip so far.
I called out days as they were happening. If you need me to get a sum of them, I have to look back across my notes, so give me a few moments here. So if you guys can find a reason to roleplay with yourselves, that would be great if there was actually talking happening, and I am going to look up to try to see.
Yeah, I feel like it was day 15, but I'm not sure.
And Tinus
I'm
had
not getting it. Doc, why are you looking for employment if we were going all the way to Waterdeep?
Vicious and Tinus were the only two who were employed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when the heroes, quote unquote, of Greenish showed up, they like undercut my job, so I no longer had like pay lined up because they basically said like they were heroes and they would work for cheaper than I was working for. So my people like basically like let me go.
They probably couldn't undercut me because I was already working for pretty little.
Nope, you and Vicious negotiated new contracts inside of Dragonspear.
Yeah, it was 5 gold per 10 day plus food.
Yeah, it's not like a complicated chart. There were 4 different tiers of this chart. Not getting paid anything, getting paid 5 gold, getting paid 8 gold to be a sergeant over 2 other people, and getting paid 10 gold as a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So-
making 8 gold before, but my people fired me because the heroes were had a reputation, which we were trying to lay low, so I wasn't trying to have a reputation. And then also they were working for cheaper. So
We really should investigate them more, but for now, I've got Tinus set up to investigate anyone but Last Varlo the Silent.
I think offhand you are 10 days out of Dragonspear.
Alright, so I have 20 rations left.
yeah, I'm definitely going to buy like some rations, some tobacco, probably some more liquor.
Yeah, anything like that, just normal stuff. You can basically buy PHB stuff at will. Anything under 25 gold is pretty much always available in a city of sorts. So, Tinus, your attempt at hiring this librarian. Are you going to pay for the services, or are you going to recognize that perhaps this is not the ideal solution?
Yeah, Tinus is going to recognize that he doesn't have the kind of time to actually pay for a full-on researcher. So he's going to just head off, traveling along the high road and look for a temple. Preferably to Lathander. Yeah, I could probably just ask the person who I just spoke to. Yeah, he's going to ask if they know of a temple in Daggerford and where it might be.
Alrighty, so the Temple of Lathander. The Temple of Lathander is in front of the fuck. Why can't I think of the name of the Lord of Daggerford? The Baroness's estate. It is the large sun-shaped temple before the Baroness's gates.
Yep, that makes sense. Tinus is gonna head over there. Temples tend to have studied people, so he will go in there and try to ask about, any sort of specifically. He's going to be saying, asking about whether they have any knowledge of demonic creatures or any kind of evil creature that drinks blood and attempts to convert people to their side or into one of them. Just give them the information he is aware of to try to figure out what this thing is and how it works.
There's no shortage of beings that seem to tempt those of weaker wills who might be turned to evil aims. But there's most certainly those of the fiendish nature, devils, as well as just undead creatures alike.
And ones that consume blood specifically.
I think most things that deal in unlife use the vitality of those who are living.
I see. And do you recognize this? And he will show them the bite marks on his neck.
And you are getting kicked out of the Temple of Lathander.
God damn it.
I was so waiting to see how you would roleplay showing off that you are becoming a vampire to your god.
God damn it. Okay. Well, that didn't. Come on. Loyalty, brothers. That didn't help. Yeah. I think at that point, Tinus would be very much just discouraged. Like, you don't get kicked out of your own temple and just bounce back from that. So he's gonna be heading back towards the marketplace now to wait out the rest of the night and go along with his other plans. Crap. All right.
So, other than
Research.
taverns and some of the late night places to enjoy yourself, most of Daggerford would be kind of shutting down at that point. Does anybody else have any other intentional things that you would like to accomplish in the evening of this Oktar the 18th?
Love how Tinus was looking for books. Like, maybe there'll be an all-night library.
Well, that was the other thought. I was about to slam the door in his face, be like, yeah, we're closed. But I couldn't help but ignore it, but try to bring up the fact that a book is the old world's magic. because even without magic, knowledge was such a fantastic thing, because it was like the collection of somebody's life just to make this tomb of knowledge.
Yeah, I was completely thinking in modern times where it's like, oh yeah, you go get a book.
Yeah, I think lending libraries have only been around for a few hundred years.
Fucking
Yeah, they're
communists
stupidly recent.
just
They're
sharing knowledge
stupidly
like it's
recent.
nothing.
It's our knowledge.
So overall, that night would pass by. Anybody have anything that they would like to accomplish during the day in Daggerford?
Oh wait, I was doing the thing at night.
You've got to let me know these things. I'm trying to progress time by, so what are you trying to do?
All right. Tinus is going to be casting Enhanced Self, and he's going to go investigate one of the wagons that is parked in the marketplace.
You can
He's
do a
trying to
straight
be
roll for stealth. Actually, you know what? I'm continuing to do these rolls. I like doing stealth and death rolls myself.
Well, he is using Enhance ability to give himself
And you
advantage
are
on
exhausted.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So you know the location of this cart that you want to investigate. One of the people who joined you all back in Dragonspear, traveling with 3 other people on his cart. And what is your intention?
My intention is to try to subtly go through the cart and look for any indication of cultish activity. So we're talking orders from a higher up. I believe, I don't know, purple robes, perhaps. The symbol of what you call it? What's her name? Tiamat. Yeah, the symbol of Tiamat. Just any indication of dragonish goings on.
And how long do you intend to search for?
Got to be quick. This is a city with guards, so about 10 minutes at most.
So pretty quickly going through this cart, you spot different carved pieces of wood. Doesn't seem to be like trashy this or that. A lot of them seem to be pretty nice pieces. But within moments of starting to go through this cart, you hear off from the distance, "You there! What are you doing?"
Run! He's gonna run.
Because nothing has ever gone wrong trying to run from guards in a city. So I need a dexterity check from you. How are you running away from this? What is your thought?
The thought currently is to run into some alleyways and try to get away in the twists and turns of the buildings.
Alrighty, so let me have you do a dexterity check.
That's a 13.
You hear footsteps almost directly behind you as they kind of yell out again, "Stop! It's futile to run from us!" What are you thinking?
If I get caught, I get arrested. He's gonna keep. Yeah, he's gonna keep trying to run. Let's see if I can use some. Can I use some magic to get them off my trail? Yeah. We'll throw some bright light in their face, and I'll cast what you call it? I'll cast daylight right on top of them. Oh, wait, no, warding flare. I'll blind them with a warding flare.
They are not currently trying to attack you.
Crap. Yeah, then I don't want to hurt them, but I want to blind them. I don't think light the cantrip can be used to blind, can it? If I cast it on their helmets, I have to touch it. Crap. Yeah, I've got nothing that'll help me here without hurting them too.
Somebody trying to use light to get away. It's odd that you ran.
Yeah. I should have blinded first and then disappeared and hid somewhere. Hindsight's 2020, you know?
You gotta think quick, otherwise you're gonna fail this second test.
Crap. Okay. Fairy fire. He will. That doesn't blind. Yeah, just run. No magic on this one. He's just gonna run away. Keep running.
Roll a d20
Give
with
myself some
disadvantage.
guidance. That's a 3. Wait, I have to roll both. Well, it's going to be the 3 either way. Yeah, it's a 3.
You hear the soldier behind him. Crossing through the tradeway. Come from the east. What are you doing?
If they're directly behind me...
He is much closer that time.
Oh, crap. I can't really trust myself to keep getting away like this. Yeah, gonna have to give myself some guidance because I don't believe enhanced self is concentration.
So D20 with disadvantage.
Yep. 7.
And then you can guide that.
Oh, crap, I rolled all those. The first D4 was just a 1, so it's a 8.
As you run out of that alley, you are tackled and grappled to the ground.
Crap. Well, no point in resisting at this point. He'll get tackled.
What were you doing? What is the meaning of this? Why would you run?
I was investigating that cart for potential dangerous activities. However, I ran because I didn't want to have to explain that, as I am trying to be secretive.
Let me see. Persuasion at disadvantage.
Oh boy. 7? I had a nat 20 on the other side.
Priest of Lathander is sneaking through people's luggage. What are you really here for?
I suppose can't hide it. There has been activity from a very dangerous organization rising along these routes, and I have reason to believe the merchants who are traveling in today might be involved with them. I was merely looking for signs that they were involved. As you can see on my person, I took nothing from them. I was only looking for evidence of evil. I swear on my oath.
And what evil is it that you search out?
Can I insight this guy to see if he might be trying to lead me on to something?
He's most certainly trying to lead you into telling what you're doing. You seem like a criminal.
There has been cult activities. A cult that worships an evil dragon. They have been more active recently. Maybe you've heard the stories of them in whispers, but they have begun to move, and I am attempting to stop them.
And this is an order of your god Lathander to try to stop this organization?
I believe so, yes. Lathander sent me apocalyptic visions of what will happen to the world should they continue and unimpeded.
He looks to the other guards. He seems to look over your right shoulder, seems to look over your left shoulder. It would be a shame for your god to fall to the glory of Tiamat, and you get knocked unconscious.
I was hoping they weren't evil.
I rolled the test to see if they were with a friendly organization or if they were with a hostile organization, and I rolled a 1. If that's not saying they work for the fucking cult, and I don't know what is. So,
dang it, Dice,
Tinus,
why weren't you on my
you're
side?
You're gonna go and disappear.
Tinus gets disappeared.
Does anybody have any initial thoughts as what you would like to do as the sun rises on Uktar the 19th?
That's the day we're supposed to be leaving?
That would be like the day off inside of Daggerford. It would be basically if you're trying to accomplish anything in Daggerford. And then the day that you would leave would be the 20th.
No, nothing in particular for me. I mean, my main thing would be obviously seeing if Solomon comes back and then just making sure the whole party's present before we actually leave.
Solomon told you he would be at the Flying Fish. He doesn't seem to show up across the 19th. And among other things, I think you would notice that Tinus is absent, but I think it's pretty clear to most people that there is a Temple of Lathander inside of Daggerford, so it wouldn't really go too odd of a thing for a priest of a god to not necessarily stay in a mud pit instead of a fine temple to their god.
I feel like Halo would do nothing in particular. Just throw it away.
Adar spends the day eating 7 meals a day.
Yeah, and healing his wounds from the fight with wishes. No, I feel like only I don't think that he has enough money to to eat 7 meals a day at the moment.
Does Hadar have any intention of trying to get hired onto another wagon train? So you can do a strength or persuasion.
I'm gonna try a persuasion. Excuse me, sir. You look like someone who needs a guard.
Across a few moments of time discussing with somebody who seems to be a little bit lighter on their guards in the market area, you're able to get yourself hired at 8 gold per 10 day.
I'm definitely gonna take that. I'm so happy to work for you. I'm looking forward to a good journey with you.
You were seen casting guidance. They understand what you are and what your abilities as a caster would be. So you're not going to be left in a position where you can cast anything that requires somatic. But you are probably going to get essentially framed inside of Daggerford. Uktar the 19th, as Varlo kind of breaks into the prison, and more or less you get the sensation that this creature has been, like she said in your dreams, you're sharing the same body, you're sharing the same being, and that both of you are within and like one with the other. So it's somewhat a sense of she was able to perceive through your eyes just as much as anything else. And this creature will be able to break you out of the prison. There's going to be quite a few guards who end up dead, having all of their blood sucked out of their body. And at some point in that, you will feast for your first time as well. Assuming the party progresses forward on the 20th, I'm curious what everybody would like to do as they plan to leave. See one more time what happens with Solomon. Solomon would show up on the morning of the 20th. He seems good in new gear. Seems somewhat more in his personage, and forget how much he actually took from Doc, but he'll give you 5 gold back.
Oh, he wouldn't actually take any gold from me.
Didn't you give him gold and like clothes at one point?
I tried to give him gold, but he wouldn't accept it. He said he would wait until he like needed something to ask for it. I basically just gave him like some street clothes and some food.
Yeah, but you still fed him. Yeah, that was my general idea, was that he basically gave you a gold per day for those things. But yeah, I think that's what he would pass to you for that. There will be some more people joining the caravan that are really of note. I think there'll be 6 new wagons, and you'll have 3 stay behind. And among those, the interesting thing that will kind of pop up, let me have everyone make a insight check. All right, so on that one, this is going to tell you my DC. Everybody but Doc recognizes that there seems to be a human who joins the caravan kind of last minute and would join one of the wagons that... There's some of the shady people that don't seem to really interact as much with others. And you've seen over and over again, they turn any of the people who are walking away from riding on their wagon. And this person who arrives late to the caravan leaving Daggerford very quickly has like a curt word with these people, and shortly after is riding on the back of this wagon.
Well, Tinus has some new investigation potential then.
So among the other people of note, so Hadar and Tinus would notice there is a small, I think she's a halfling who seems to join the caravan, and she kind of pops onto one of the backs of the wagons as it's leaving Daggerford. But she seemed to be kind of creeping on this individual who most recently joined and sat in the wagons that I mentioned previous to this. Go perception check, and Hadar and Vicious, you can have advantage. Everybody is going to notice that Radisir seems to disappear from the caravan, and she does not continue on. Everyone.